It was a game that received an inconceivable amount of hype, and for good reason. The storylines in this one were countless. Two of the top 5 teams in the nation facing off, Texas Tech undefeated, Oklahoma with a 23-game home winning streak. Two of the most prolific offenses in recent memory, led by two of the best quarterbacks in the nation, trying to make a Heisman statement on a nationally televised game. Oh, not to mention the revenge factor. Last season, the Sooners lost in Lubbock late in the season, eliminating them from the national championship race. A win tonight would be a large step towards the Big 12 South Championship, an appearance in the Big 12 Championship, and possibly the BCS Championship game in Miami. Senior night in Norman, 20 Sooners, including Nick Harris, playing their final game at Owen Field. Bob Stoops met up with former assistant coach Mike Leach. Texas Tech had beat OU 2 the last 3 years. Sooners had beat the Red Raiders 5 straight times in Norman. OU made a clear effort to run the ball early, and boy did it pay off. His 25-yard run by DeMarco Murray was part of his 48 yards rushing on the first possession. He would get in from 1 yard out to put the Sooners up 7-0 midway through the first. Bob Stoops' plea for a louder crowd certainly paid dividends. Tech looked out of sorts, and it didn't help when Adrian Taylor was hanging on Graham Harrell's waist. Sack moved the Raiders back 12 yards and led to a punt. That punt led to a 6-play, 76-yard drive that lasted under 2 minutes and culminated with a 3-yard touchdown run by Chris Brown. OU led 14-0, 31 seconds into the second quarter. Brown scored 3 touchdowns and rushed for 108 yards. Tech drove down the field but failed to convert on fourth down. Sooners took it 84 yards the other way in a little over a minute. Blame DeMarco Murray for that. He took the pass out in the flat and put on a cutting workshop, gaining 31 yards down the Tech 30, where he had 71 yards receiving. Seconds later, Sam Bradford found tight end Jermaine Gresham for the 19-yard score. OU led 21-0 with 11 minutes remaining in the first half. Gresham led the Sooners with 5 catches for 95 yards. Red Raiders once again go for it on fourth down and fail, so Bradford led his Sooners 55 yards and 146. Big play being the 28-yard pass to Joaquin Iglesias. The move he made was sick on the Raiders, leaving them in the dust. OU led 28-0, only catch of the night for the senior Iglesias. Tech would finally score, and OU would quickly answer to make it 35-7. But then with under a minute left in the half, Harrell picked off by redshirt freshman Travis Lewis. The speedy linebacker returns the ball 47 yards all the way to the 2. Marco Murray jumped in from 1 yard out. OU led an unbelievable 42-7 at the half. Murray finished with 125 yards on 18 carries. More of the same in the second half. Tech finished with only 45 yards rushing, and it didn't help when Travis Lewis forced Shannon Woods to cough up the ball. Keenan Clayton scooped it up and returned it 53 yards behind a bevy of blocks all the way to the 3-yard line. Brown would do the rest. OU led 52-7. Then, to close out the third, Bradford engineered a 90-yard 4-play drive that was capped by perhaps the play of the day. Manny Johnson's one-handed snag and 66-yard touchdown on the play-action pass. Extra point was blocked, but OU led 58-14. That was Manny's lone catch of the night. Finally, Bradford's last action of the night came in the first minute of the fourth quarter. Found receiver Ryan Broyles, the fast freshman, did the rest, reversing field and racing 26 yards for the score. OU led 65-14. Bradford was 14 of 19 for 304 yards and 4 touchdowns. Tech added a touchdown late with 11 seconds left, and OU wins 65-21. It's the most points ever scored on Tech. OU rushes for 299, passes for 326, and holds Tech to 406 total yards. Graham Harrell completes 33 of 55 passes for 361 yards and 3 touchdowns. Afterwards, players, coaches, and fans alike reveled in the biggest home win in 8 years, a win earned with unyielding support from a very loud and rowdy sellout crowd.
And I should start off by saying how much I appreciate the fans. I've got a game ball here. Not everyone can see it, but game ball for the fans. That's what you hope a stadium would be like. I hope I didn't offend anybody challenging them this week. I've always appreciated and respected. We have great fans. You don't sell out every single game for 10 years without loyal and committed great fans. And I didn't mean to ever sound as though I didn't respect that.
That's by far the best atmosphere I've ever played in anywhere. And I think that had a huge deal. I don't think they realize how much, we feed off the crowd energy. And for them to, be such a big part in this game tonight, it really helped us.
People kept talking about their offense all week, didn't give our defense a chance, So, I think, they took it more to heart than any other, than we did, So, I mean, all credit to the defense. They did a tremendous job, holding them to 14 or 21 points. I don't think, they've been held that low this year. So, I mean, defense won this game for us.
Graham said early on ESPN this week that he wasn't going to get sacked. And that he can't nobody get to him. And that's everybody was saying, can't nobody get to Graham. And we took that as a challenge. And not to say, downplay his talent or anything, because he's a real good player and his offensive line is real good. But we just took it as a challenge. We wasn't intimidated by the fact that they've only allowed 5 sacks all year. But they hadn't played us yet. So we just took it as a challenge and attacked them. This week was really about the defense. The offense always gets theirs. They've been putting up 60 for 4 weeks now, including this one, I guess. And we knew if we won this game, it was going to be on the defense. And I think we took that as a challenge. When we came out, we performed well tonight.
There was a lot of factors. It was at home, senior night, and just the fact that nobody gave our defense a chance all year. All this week, we do watch TV, and, nobody gave our defense a chance. They give up this many yards. They make this many yards, and they put up this many points. So we really came out there with a chip on our shoulders, and it showed tonight.
And this was a great one. It's certainly one that we were due for. And against a great team on a great stage, with the way these guys have played against some really good defenses, I think it ranks up there with some of the best.
Well, obviously now there's something. Now we're in the mix with everybody, and you would think with the way we played, you would think ahead. The logic of whether you move us in front of Texas. If you can't do that because they beat us, well, then you got to keep Texas Tech in front of Texas when you vote. So if it's logical for one, it's logical for the other. And then if you're going to forgive other people for one loss, that they're playing well now. Forgive a team for losing at home to an unranked team, and then they're playing well now, so you need to, let's vote them up there. Well, we're playing pretty well right now too. So again, if it's logical for someone else, that same logic ought to work for us. So we're in it with everybody.
Oklahoma State, it's a big rivalry game. We know it. We've circled it from the beginning of the year. It's one of our goals is to beat them. So I really don't see how we could overlook them.
Oh, yeah. I'm not too big of an OSU fan, even though when they – sorry, guys. But even, when they're playing somebody else out of state, I root for OSU. I really do. When we playing them, kind of got to go with us. I kind of play for OU, so,
So the Sooners win by 44 points over the number 2 ranked team in the nation, and that's with Coach Bob Stoops shutting down the offense once again in the fourth quarter. Talk about style points. Sooners will take a little bit of time to savor this victory, but not long. That's because Saturday night's win means nothing if OU can't go to Stillwater and close out the regular season with a win in Bedlam. Reporting from Norman, Damon Fontenot, News OK TV.